Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Wanted to do a short video. Initial impressions on this Seiko Baby Marine Master. So reference number, SBP077J, a Japan-made watch. Now, I got given this watch from my brother, and it's a 7-year-old watch. So he bought this 7 years ago in Tokyo, Japan, when he was first getting into watches, and from then until now he hasn't serviced it, he hasn't babied it, and he's got chunkier wrists than mine. So I thought to myself, it's probably not going to fit me. But surprisingly, over the last week or so that I've had this watch, I've been wearing it around the house and to do chores and just, you know, a few times here and there. And despite the case dimensions, it wears surprisingly well. So as we would know, Seiko's entry level for a lot of people. The watch retails for about 1,700, 1,800 Australian dollars. You can find it cheaper, easily find it cheaper. But it's one of those watches where, you know, we're starting to go up to 1,000 plus in terms of value that you're trying to, that you're paying for essentially. So 1,000 plus, it gets a bit expensive, but it's a good watch in first impressions. I was surprised with the dimensions being 44mm diameter, 12.7mm thick, and 51mm lug to lug. Surprised that it wears surprisingly well on my dainty 6.5-inch wrists. Now, it helps because it is a diving watch, it is a sports watch, and it's a great piece. It's a really great piece. I like the fact that there are hints of Zaratsu polishing around this, and it kind of gives you a bit of a sneak peek as to what Grand Seiko has to offer, which I'm very excited to start exploring the brand's Grand Seiko actually. But going back to my roots, you know, my first watch that I ever bought for myself was a Seiko Turtle, and this feels and looks like a big boy version of that. You know, the construction is top notch. You can't really complain with the construction of it. It's extremely sturdy, and it is quite chunky and substantial on the wrist. Now, in terms of where this fits in my collection at the moment, you know, I'm just keeping it for now. I'm probably going to take it for a service and whatnot, but let's go through a quick summary with the last week I've owned it. So let's go. Now, the name is very deceptive because they call this a Baby Marine Master as its nickname. It's not a baby, it's a big boy, it's pretty grown up already. Lug to lug is 51mm, but that doesn't include the solid end links protruding out. So as you can see on my 6.5-inch wrist, 51mm lug to lug, it fits actually quite well. It's on the borderline and the cusp of what I would deem acceptable, but because it is a sports watch, you can kind of get away with it. People have this fascination and hatred towards big watches on smaller wrists. I think that depending on the lug to lug, if it doesn't overhang your wrist, I think it's totally fine. Now, the watch is heavy. It is a heavy watch. I'm not sure exactly how heavy it is. I think it's actually, no, it's in front of me. It's 184 grams. So if that's anything to go off by, a lot of watches nowadays are about maybe 140, 150. It is a heavy piece, and it's not bad. It actually feels great on the wrist. The bracelet is okay. It does have that hint of Zaratsu polishing on the outer flanks, and it is a well-made bracelet, though because it is a big boy, the bracelet does feel quite clunky in a sense. I think that if I was to get a alternative strap, perhaps a sailcloth strap, this watch would feel a million times better. But, you know, as a complete package, if you're just to buy it just as it is, then it's not bad, right? Now, touching on the clasp is very basic. It's just your standard clamshell with flip lock, with a twin trigger release. Clasp is good. There's no micro adjustments, but I don't think you should be expecting micro adjustments at this price point, especially with this being an older model. You can get this extremely cheaper, right? A lot more cheaper than the retail before. And if you were to pay that retail price now, look, there's other Seiko models out there that are a lot better, considering that this only has 50 hours of power reserve and the accuracy is quite, it's not that good. We're talking plus 25 to minus 15 seconds a day, and it's always either really fast or really slow. Now, it is a 7-year-old watch, so I can't be complaining, and it probably needs to go through a service, but out of the box, plus 25, minus 15. Seikos aren't known to be quite accurate, especially the older ones. The newer ones are fine, but the older ones, yeah, have a reputation of being not that accurate, but it is what it is, right? Otherwise, it'll do. It's still accurate enough that you can tell you the time, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, the bezel action is strange because it's pretty hard to actually move it. I'm finding myself having to, I guess you can hear the click on my microphone, some ASMR. It's hard to bloody move around, that's for sure. It requires a bit of effort, and the knurling on the edges, the coin edging or coin knurling, it's not that easy to grip. But I guess that's the purpose of it, you don't want to move it accidentally. The bezel is aluminum, so it's going to scratch. Keep that in mind. Now, as an overall package, the bracelet and the watch head as it is, as a total complete, this is what you're getting, it's fine. If I was to change a few things, it would be the bracelet. Although it is great in its finishing, the 20mm lug spacing suggests that maybe they could have done more with the tapering. There isn't much of a taper, if any at all, and because of that, it does feel quite clunky on the wrists. So as you can see here on my little showcase, it fits. The bracelet does fit and the watch does fit my wrist. It's not overtly large. However, if there was a bit of a taper on that there, it would have been absolutely perfect. That's the reason why I'm starting to think that maybe I should be putting this on a strap to make it feel a lot more comfortable and just give it a bit more of a contrasting look as well. Because the bracelet, as I mentioned, doesn't taper, I think a sailcloth strap will look great on this. But if I do get one in the future, I'll make another video to see if I was right or if I was wrong. Now, let's go back to head level and finish off this video. Okay, so Baby Marine Master. In a nutshell, great piece. 7 years ago, it would have been a bomb-ass watch. Nowadays, there are new releases from Seiko for the money, so I know that they released a trio of divers with great specs, great looks, more classic vintage looks, and as well as great power reserves. So it's just a lot more updated than this. This, however, if you can find this cheaper, it's not a bad buy. It isn't a bad buy at all. It does have that hint of Zaratsu polishing, as I mentioned. If I was to change a few things, definitely the bracelet. I would probably put this on a strap as opposed to keeping the bracelet on. It does have micro adjustments here, but like manual micro adjustments, not on the fly. And it is a clunky bracelet. It doesn't really taper too much. Otherwise, the case head is fine. Accuracy can be better, but that's what you get for a cheaper watch, right? Especially an older watch that hasn't been serviced. Bezel action, it's okay. It's difficult to operate, and as you can see, I'm kind of struggling to get this one sorted. There you go. But it is a great watch, and it is a charming watch nevertheless. So hopefully in the near future, when I spend more time with this, I'm able to get my hands on a proper strap and I could have a better wearing experience with it there. But that's the video, a quick video on this one here. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.